Hi everyone, I'm Topaz, and today I'm filming this because I have been questioning my gender identity a lot lately, and I believe I have figured out what my sexuality is, and maybe it might change later on in life, so who knows. I'm filming this because I have been hearing a lot of negativity towards the LGBTQ community lately, such as "that's so gay," and just a lot of really just people being uninformed about what it's all about. So I am doing this because my school, at least as far as I'm concerned, does not have a GSA. And for those of you who do not know, that is a gay straight alliance. I have recently found out what this is, and only recently started to consider the fact that I might be able to start one of these in my own school. And I am actually planning on starting this today. Well, not today, I'm filming this on a Friday, so probably on Monday. I'm going to talk to my guidance counselor about that. Yeah, I'm awkward. How you been? So I have a list of topics that I'm going to talk to you about. I watched a 10-minute video and I have like an entire page of stuff. How do I do this? Like, I take more notes on a 10-minute video than I do during an hour-long class, which I'm supposed to be taking notes on. How do I do this? Anywho, so I'm going to be brushing up on things that you are going to need to plan ahead of time, and just a few ideas that could just kind of help you along the way when you're stuck on what to do for your GSA meetings. It's like 9:45. I can't talk right now. So there are a couple things that you're going. Sorry about my shoulders, by the way. I'm double jointed. It's like my fidget. I'm doing that a lot. So you're going to need 3 things. At least those are like the 3 basic things. You're probably going to need a lot more than this as time goes on, but you are going to need a teacher sponsor, just an adult, a person who works a staff member, like your art teacher, your guidance counselor, as I mentioned earlier, your math teacher, for all I care. You're going to need a teacher to help you start and organize the club, and you are also going to need to plan ahead. Go around, check all your other clubs and groups throughout the school and see what times they are, what times they begin, what times they end, and just kind of keep that in mind when you're organizing your club, because a lot of these people might be in marching band, or like at my school we have a gentlemen's club, or the Bowtie Brothers, that's what they're called. We have a weird school. We have the Girls Empower Girls Club. We have the Minecraft Club. Yes, that's a thing. We have that. You need to account for all these things, because some of the people who come to this club might not be completely out of the closet yet, and you need to take that into account when you are planning these meetings. You need to find out a time, like before school, after school, during school, and you need to pick a date, like maybe you have it once a week, maybe a once a month meeting, maybe every day, who knows. And you are going to need a rubric for how to plan your meetings, like we come in, like this will be the time period when people come in, this will be the time period when we talk, then we're going to have snacks, and then we're going to do this and that. Like, just kind of have a timeline and like a rubric kind of to set out what you're going to do in each meeting. Now, oops. Don't you hate when you accidentally fold paper in your journal? I hate that. Pisses me off. Anyway, so for your first meeting, this is always the most important, obviously, because it's the first meeting of a brand new club that you've kind of pretty radical idea if your school doesn't already have it. So you're going to need to obviously have some kind of icebreaker. The name game is obviously an easy one, but I've modified it slightly. Like, again, I watched a video for these notes. I will link it into the description once I find out how to get the link, because I'm doing this on my phone. So that'll be hard, but once I do that, I will put it into the description. But I did modify it slightly. So for the name game, everyone's going to sit in a circle or a group or whatever, and you're going to say your name, preferred pronouns, because that's always important thing. I put in sexuality since this is a gay-straight alliance, so sexuality is what I put in, because it's like, you're here for a reason. And then after that, just something about yourself, like, oh, I like animals, or I'm in such and such fandom, or I'm very religious, something along those lines. Just a random factoid about yourself. I'm like shaking right now. I'm not even cold. Then you're going to have some kind of snack. And since you don't know what kind of people are going to be showing up to this, you have to plan ahead. I personally have friends who are, I have 2 friends who are, well, they're twins, so obviously they have the same kind of allergies, but they are allergic to all kinds of nuts. Anything with the word nut in it, they are allergic to. Are they allergic to sunflower seeds? I don't know, I'll have to ask. Anywho, you have to take that kind of thing into account. Then I have another friend, and she is literally allergic to almost everything. She is allergic to anything dairy, and again, anything nuts. So that takes out a huge chunk, takes out a huge chunk of food for her. You need to take those kind of things into account. So try things like fruits or things that are specified as like gluten-free and peanut-free and stuff along those lines, like gluten-free pretzels and something like that. You need to take those things into account when you are planning your very first meeting and don't know things about everyone. The last thing, which is kind of optional, which I kind of threw in there from my little experience as a Girl Scout, which is tasks like who brings a snack every meeting. Like, you'll have a little basket and they'll have some tasks in there and everyone gets to draw something and get something different every week. So like a different person will bring snacks each week. A different person will think of a game each week. It's like something like that. You're going to need to stockpile ideas. Like when you just like have a huge list of ideas that you can do for these things. And if one thing on your list is more relevant than the thing you have planned next, then do that one. Just kind of stockpile these things so you're never actually out of ideas when a meeting comes. One sec. Sorry about that. Where was I? Right, and the last thing this is like just a regular meeting, or specifically your first meeting, you are going to want to have a way to introduce new members whenever they come in. Because it's a school club. Sometimes new people just find out about it halfway through the year. Sometimes people just transfer to the school. You don't know. Just make sure that you are introducing new people, making them feel welcomed at all times. Now, the rest of this will be dedicated to kind of listing off some stockpiled ideas, ones that I have listed from the one video. My research of all one video. I'm so prepared for this. So, something that you might want to do every once in a while is the ABCs of the LGBTQ community, kind of listing off different sexualities and gender identities just so that people know what you're talking about when you say something or another. Because, as myself, I identify as a pansexual, and again, I'm still kind of questioning my gender identity, so I don't know. I am definitely a member of the LGBTQ community. I am. I am definitely a queer person. Now, I don't know every last gender, identity, and sexuality there is. I don't. And I'm fine to admit that. I don't know everything. And I probably never will. Because there are not probably thousands, but definitely dozens of different sexualities and gender identities, and a lot of people don't know all of them. So when you have new people and first meetings and stuff like this, it's always good to brush up on things that, well, people might not know. Like, everyone knows what gays means. Everyone knows what bi means. Not everyone knows what pansexual is, and that's fine. That's okay. People come to these kinds of places to learn and feel safe, and that's what it's all about. I said I was going to brush up on this, and that was like a minute long. I have like 12 more. Anyway, another thing is maybe fundraisers or community service. This is obviously something that would happen after a while, after your club has become more comfortable in your school. And it's maybe fundraisers, the half of your money that you raise would go to your club, buying things like merchandise, like glittery stickers and rainbow pens and stuff like that. And the other half would go to your local LGBTQ community and care center or whatever. I'm so prepared for this. And another thing is just going over a list of LGBTQ holidays. Like, I know the Day of Silence is one. Again, I'm not entirely sure what this is, but I'm definitely going to research it before I even mention this to a guidance counselor because I want to be prepared and know what I'm talking about. And there's things like National Coming Out Day, and I think there was like Trans Remembrance Day, things along those lines, just holidays. The next thing, like I mentioned earlier, is merchandise, like just rainbow stickers, little pins, stuff like that. Just like when people are being introduced to the club, like maybe those little dime a dozen little like rubber band type wrist bracelets that people lose in a week, that kind of stuff. No, these next things are things that just like more actual like historical things. Not really a couple of them, but so. And where was I? Like political stuff. Go along the lines of like what's legal, what isn't. Just things along the lines of those kinds of things that are what is new, relevant, what's been here for a while about the LGBTQ community, so that people can actually learn how good or how bad their situation might actually be. Another thing is just to listen to YouTubers. I know when I was figuring out my identity, things like Pinterest, especially for me, and YouTube were my main tools in trying to figure out what the heck I was. At first, I was bi, then I was gay, and then I was demisexual, I think, and then I was homoflexible. I changed so many times, and then I finally settled on pansexual, so I'm completely happy with that label, and I love it. So, just kind of get to know the resources you have to educate yourself about these kinds of things. Know everything you can about these kinds of topics before you actually start anything. Maybe have the people in your this is the next topic. Maybe have the people in your club kind of come up to the front of wherever you are, park, the room, wherever, and just kind of explain maybe their coming out story, their experiences, their troubles, their worries, stuff like that. And then, so instead of, again, with the political thing, instead of just sitting there explaining on a PowerPoint like a teacher does in the middle of an hour-long lecture, you can use Kahoot, which is something I love, honestly. It's great. It's a little kind of like, you might have heard of Quizlet. It's kind of like that. And if you haven't heard of either of those, then you probably aren't in middle school. Or have been in middle school for a while. Because those are really commonly used where I am. Reach out to other GSAs and your nearest LGBTQ community. Just kind of get a feel for your resources about who you can reach out to and who you can trust with these kinds of things. Another thing is just talk about stereotypes and why some actually do apply to some people and some don't. Just talk about them. Get people to learn as much as they can about these kinds of things. And then have guest speakers. Now, when I was first questioning my sexuality was 2 or 3 years ago. And when I first started questioning, it was when my current boyfriend came to me and was like, there's a rumor spreading around saying that you're gay. Is that true? And I just kind of went, no. Is that a bad thing? And that's when I started thinking about, am I? I don't know. So, I personally know that in my 6th grade year, I had a lesbian teacher. I'm not going to say her name for obvious reasons, but she was my drama teacher, and she was awesome. She never outright told us that she was lesbian. She might have been bisexual or pansexual, I don't know. But I do know that she had a wife, and I believe she had a daughter, and it was great. And when I first heard about it, I'm just like, wait, what? And it's great, and I'm actually considering reaching out to her again and having her as a guest speaker at hopefully my soon-to-be GSA club. So I am really looking forward to that and hoping that this might become a thing before I leave my school. Now, there are like little notes that I have at the top of my page, and there is a book, which again I learned from my video that I watched, called A Tango Mix 3. I think that's what it was called, Tango Mix 3. And it was about gay penguins, and it's like a little children's book, and it looked super cute, and I kind of want to read it now. And then just having a timeline for the LGBTQ community. Like, when was the first Pride Parade? When was the first openly gay person openly gay? Up all the way up to the current election and the new rules about LGBTQ marriage and stuff along those lines. And keep adding to it every time someone finds out something new, some undiscovered fact that you didn't catch up on. Just write a little sticky note, put it on the timeline, and there you go. So, unfortunately, that is all the notes that I have. If I had more, I would definitely share it to you. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I really hope that you start your own GSA and that your entire school will become a more loving place for these kinds of things. I personally am openly gay and have, well, not gay, but pan, and have not yet experienced any true negativity except for the unoccasional, unintentionally rude comment. And I really hope that none of you are really in any kind of danger for bullying or just threats in general for these kinds of things just for being who you are. I really hope that isn't happening to anyone, and if it is, please tell someone. Don't just sit there and do nothing about it, because it will get worse if you don't do anything. And sorry for getting sappy at the end there, but it's true. Now, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, so, bye.